Now, what are some of the biggest mistakes you see writers make when putting together a pilot?
Wow. Using too much of a closed ending so that there isn't that season one trigger to
Hmm.
trigger the rest of the show. The scenes are too long and the act breaks are not where they should be. My beat sheet defines your act break, defines the signpost beats of your plot,
Hmm.
and it also defines where they fall in the script. Okay, so I have a very specific page range paradigm that I've constructed, but it's based on produced shows, hit shows, and professional pilots that I read. So, like for example, I have the teaser of a 1 hour drama should be 2 to 10 pages. Act one should be 12 to 15 pages. Act two should be 6 to 10 pages, and it should end around page 30. And I continue through to Act five. So if you read my book, Story Maps TV Drama, then you'll see these breakdowns and you'll know basically how long you have for each act. And it really is empowering, and it gives you kind of a deadline and a target, and it is easier to write if you know, okay, I'm writing act two and I only have 10 pages and it should end around page 30. It's actually liberating because then you don't write 35 pages, and it gives you some discipline to know that this is the industry standard structure. I don't know if that answered your
No,
question.
it does. It does. It does. Now, are there any bad habits that screenwriters writing a show have that they should kind of rid themselves of? Like you've seen this again and again and again. You're like, oh God, please stop this.
Well, it's funny. I had heard years ago that there was a huge flood of pilots that were just like Breaking Bad, like Breaking
Well,
Bad's pilot,
yeah.
because it was so popular at the time. But yeah, like I said, there isn't a trigger to trigger season one. There isn't that compelling crisis, really. It's a one-off story, so there's not that fascinating conflict that can keep repeating. Just the characters are not that interesting. There is a lack of conflict. They really have to generate conflict, and each scene has to have conflict, and ideally increasing stakes. There isn't a midpoint. Like there should still be a midpoint in a pilot, just as there is a midpoint in a feature, and that should be really strong. And then there should be an all is lost moment, that really hitting bottom moment that happens at the end of Act four, if you're talking about teaser plus 5 acts. And
Now,
there's an all is lost in the 30-minute structure as well.